Hello, welcome back to Benesushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to do something with grease pencil and Sverchok Nodes. So there is actually an interesting trick that I've been using since many years ago. So these days, in the past, I used to be able to hold D and then write something, but this is it's no longer grease pencil is no longer made this way. So you need to. This is becoming an annotations, but still an interesting tool. These days, you need to create a grease pencil object first, and then you go to draw and start drawing, right? And I like how grease pencil can actually be read using Sverchok Nodes. And I want to show you a quick trick. Shift A, GP, grease pencil setup. So this was a macro that's I've been using for a while now. So let's save this out. Actually, select the grease pencil, select the layer, and just select active frames. Let's save this really quickly. SVGP trick. There are actually many ways to read the data, but this is the easy one. There's something that's a little bit more complex. You can see if we update the timeline, you can see Sverchok already reading the grease pencil data, and we can increase or decrease the sampling. And you can use this right away if you like. So if you just grab the points, plug into the matrix, and then you use an objects, you can already scatter a bunch of objects. So this is actually pretty cool, and it's really fast as well, and you can always bake it. Let's go back to normal. So we have grease pencil, and we have the objects. So we can delete that for now. There is another thing that I hardly ever use, but it's actually really powerful. It's to bevel a curve. This node is really powerful, and I didn't realize we have it. So bevel curve. What is this? Okay, first of all, in the past, I have been using polyline viewer. So basically, if you have like something like a grease pencil strokes, you just pass in the vertices or points positions, and you get this curve, which is really cool already. You can actually randomize the radius, etc. simply by plugging things like random number into the radius. And yeah, so you can randomize the strokes radius like that. But this is actually a curve, a polyline. There's another thing, bevel curve. So the inputs it's expecting is the curve, which is actually curve points, and then the bevel verts and bevel edges is what's really interesting. That's actually expecting something like circle. You can use circle and gone, and also bevel faces, and then the result will be something like that. Here with the points, actually you can skip all these points resampling, but I like to keep it. It's actually really handy because we can resample the points. But what's this nodes is doing also kind of the same. It's try to resample the points or the steps. So we have this kind of quick way to generate a real mesh from grease pencil strokes. And let's see, so instead of using viewer draw, I can use an actual viewer B mesh. And let's observe this a little bit more. So other than steps, so we have steps, we have taper and twist. That's something we need to explore. We also have things like X, Y, Z of the circle. So it's almost like lofting a shape on top of the strokes path, which is a grease pencil in this case. And this is actually a live object. So we need to go back to our grease pencil and then go back to draw mode. and try draw something else, and it's got updated. You see, can I draw multiple strokes? Apparently I can. So it's really cool. So you can write like hello. Oh yeah, okay, the step need to be, oh okay, you notice something here. This node not 100% perfect, but you can use a different ways to control the rotations. This is actually um, not a simple thing, and there's a lot of things going on. Maybe we need to have more sampling or less sampling. But when you draw a stroke using grease pencil, and it's not always easy to find the rotations that's actually correct. But you can control it. Try to get the one that's best for you. So maybe other than circle, you can also use line. So let's get rid of these. So line, vertices, edges. So see here, you can have something like almost like a ribbon. Let's try a number. Let's see if this works. Okay, it cannot twist unless we provide a proper number. Probably like if we use number range like this and then step 100, and then we can now start twisting our objects. Yeah, I found this kind of interesting. It's almost like a writing with a ribbon, and you can add like solidify. Just a couple of ideas here. And other than this, of course, if we go back to circle, or maybe use something like n-gon, because with n-gon we can quickly randomize things. This thing is actually really powerful. It's useful to make something like type as well if you pass in like a Hilbert. But in this case, we are really just using grease pencil strokes. You can see, so the step, in this case, the step is 200. And we have control over the number. There's still like some weird twisting over there, but that's it's okay. It's something, maybe you figure out a way to fix that. But the nice thing, of course, you can write something very, very quickly. Yeah, so back to grease pencil, draw, and then say blend. So this is multiple strokes. Update. Okay, now we have this. Pretty cool. It's almost I would say it's almost like paint effects in Maya, but you have more control over the generations of mesh using nodes. It's very powerful. So grease pencil and whatever you do in Sverchok, you might figure out a lot of things that actually hasn't been explored. This is only like an example. This thing like controlling the counts, the steps. Somebody, I mean, you can basically practically create an add-on or something that, like really complex, and it's become like a new tool simply by using a single node like this. Turn on and off cyclic. Taper. So taper is also interesting. Taper is a way you can randomize the radius using a line. I have not used this actually, but give this a try, taper. And what else we have? Do we have radius control? Radius control maybe can be controlled using the n-gon, like the bevel itself. I mean, this n-gon, I can have like multiple number of size and divisions, and I can actually, I can actually randomize the n-gon. Okay, so just an idea. So the radius here is controlling that radius. If if I remove the twist, so we have this result. The step is still being controlled here. Let's try random number for the radius, and the size actually still have to come from this guy because we are controlling the okay, maybe, yeah, actually I was wrong. Let me delete, turn off the grease pencil. Let's delete everything and then updates. Okay, we need to control it using the taper. Okay, we need to understand the taper vertices first. So maybe we can use line. And this line can, so we have 100 step, let's turn it into 100. Okay, let's simplify this. First, we go to grease pencil and delete some of this stuff. So dope sheet, grease pencil. So we have a couple of frames. Let's go back to the simple one. Delete the rest. Just this spiral. Let's remove the randomizations. Simple spiral, and we can control the radius here, and we need to be able to control the taper. So this is the tricky one. Taper vertices. This line we need to be able to visualize the line first. I believe this works like if you go to z-axis and and then you move it, you move the line to the side. So imagine if this is the original line, and then this is the one that we already moved. Imagine if this line is actually controlling the radius of our strokes. Okay, so let's hide this very quickly. If I simply just randomize the line, randomize, so the line representing the taper, and we randomize it in X. You see how our strokes becoming randomized? So that's one way you can think of it. So the first it was 0, and then you randomize it, but if you move it to the side, so you can have like a starting value, and this randomize can be just a little bit random, but also I think the number of vertices will matter. But this the nodes is clever enough to kind of repeat. So this node is really quite powerful. Or if you want to make this smooth, you enable the smoothing. There you go. And this is a polygon. Because this is polygon, it's you can always remesh it or wireframe it. And it's really fast, especially in Blender 2.82. This is still alpha, but it's already super fast. So yeah, the whole setup, something you can try yourself. Definitely super powerful ways to convert grease pencil, strokes, randomize the radius. You can have control over the twisting, etc. So yeah, hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think. You can definitely use this technique for a lot of things. Let me know if you made something using this technique. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.